go again, America. I'm Maxine Waters from the great state of California. Impeach 45. I'm here with my colleague, Skippy Adams.
No. I'm Adam Smith.
Bless you.
Not that again, Maxine. Smith is my name. Let's just do what these rednecks are paying us to do.
Impeach 45. Well, Mr. Whatever your name is, let's get this show on the road. As I was saying, America, both myself and my colleague, also known as the greasy immigrant in Nancy Pelosi's behind.
What Representative Waters means is that some people think that I'm the eminence grise behind our brave minority leader. Of course, I'm flattered.
Not as flat as Nancy Pelosi's chest. Impeach 45. Malt liquor in every pot. Bush lied. People died.
Oh, good Lord, woman. Focus.
All right, white boy, calm down. Go sit in the back of the bus. America, please welcome these two Peckerwoods, Marty and Casey Rollins, your host of HonestAnswerRadio.com.
The views and opinions expressed on the Honest Answer Radio show are the opinions of Honest Answer Media and no one else. If you're hearing a syndicated broadcast of this show, don't hold it against the broadcaster. Rather, congratulate them on their openness, tolerance, and respect for the First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America. Thank you very much.
Fight on the hill in the early day, constant chill deep inside. Shooting gun on they run through the endless gray. On they fight for the right, yes, but who's to say? For a hill men would kill, why they do not know. Stiffened wounds test their pride. Men of fight still alive through the raging blow. Gone insane from the pain that they surely know. Bell toll, time marches on, for whom the bell toll.
Yay! We made it back for another week. Isn't that groovy?
I'm grooved.
All right. Well, welcome to Honest Answer Radio here at HonestAnswerRadio.com. If you're just now discovering us, well, I'm going to be the Marty half of this dynamic hosting duo.
And I'm going to be the Casey half. Hey, man.
Yeah?
You think Maxine and Adam Schiff might be going off the deep end a little bit?
I think they've been off the deep end. I think they ain't never, I don't think they've ever quite found the shallow end unless you're counting the gene pool.
Well, I was just wondering. I mean, they're just, Maxine's having a tough time because nobody's really tried to impeach Trump yet. And Adam Schiff, well, he released a memo and nobody cared.
Still don't care. No matter what they do, they can't seem to make anybody care. Bless their hearts. I almost feel bad for them. Almost. I don't know about you, dude, but like, I'm so glad this week is over with. I was beginning to wonder if we were gonna make it.
Well, it's been kind of a dark week, and just so y'all know, tonight we're not going to be talking about school shootings. Sorry, y'all. I mean, everybody else on the internet and on the terrestrial airwaves, that's been their topic today, and I think everything that could be said about that has already been said. So we're not even going to go there.
And there's nothing about that whatsoever that would, make anybody smile. There's nothing in that for us to, there's nothing light in there. So it's out. Tell you what I did see today, just today, as a matter of fact.
What did you see?
I know I hope this don't count as politics, because it's just downright funny. but it is sort of political. I saw where the special counsel guy,
Robert Mueller.
well, you know, I'm coming to think of his name having a more German sound to it.
Robert Mueller?
Mueller. Yeah, you know, like you gotta have a little in there. Mueller.
Mueller?
Yeah,
Robert Mueller?
Mueller. He actually pulled some indictments out of his hat.
Yeah.
Apparently,
He has ways of making people talk.
well, apparently he had ways of making some Russians talk, man. And they're saying that. Now, here's what people are being charged with, and now this is where it fits into like pop culture, you know, or technology. Okay, so these Russians set up a bunch of fake accounts on social media and pretended to be political groups and things like that.
No.
And they started throwing their support for Bernie Sanders. Bernie was their guy. And then when they found out about the DNC, you know, tanking it for Hillary.
Now, wait. You mean they didn't already know?
Well, I'm
Because-
sure they did. But, you know, once it was like, you know, hitting the mainstream anyway, then they started throwing their support for Trump and throwing all these other articles out there that were negative towards Hillary. So that was trying to impact our electoral process. They also, some of them had set up these fake bank accounts and things like that. Now that is a crime. You can't be doing that. I don't know exactly what all that part was about. What I do know, because I did have a chance to peruse the documentation, nowhere in any of these indictments does it even remotely suggest that any of these people worked in collusion with Donald Trump, the candidate, or Donald Trump, the president.
Now, you just hold on right there. You just hold on. You're telling me that after over a year and however many millions of dollars that we've already spent on this, you're telling me that Robert Mueller is going to arrest not Donald Trump, not Jeff Sessions.
No, but about 13 Ruskies.
Russian internet trolls.
Or bots. Maybe he's arresting bots. I don't know. I did see this cool T-shirt that Mark Dice has got. If you guys hadn't seen Mark Dice, check out his YouTube channel. That guy cracks me up. Mark Dice has got these T-shirts for sale that says, "I'm a Russian bot." I got to get one. I got to get one of those. Because here's what, and look, while all this was going on, I'm sitting in my office at work, right? So I go to CNN, their live feed, and I go to MSNBC, their live feed.
Right.
Because I done seen that there is absolutely nothing in there about any collusion with Trump, right?
So wait. You're just. I can just save you some time because you're about to tell everybody here that MSNBC said they was wrong. CNN said they was wrong all this time about collusion. Is that what you're about to say?
They ain't even come close to trying to let that go. Oh, no. Now, because like if you look over on the Drudge Report, I'm going to try to pull it up real fast here. On the Drudge Report, at the bottom of the three major headlines, leaker, quote, with knowledge, end quote, says there are months to go on this.
So they've identified their leaker in their story, though, right?
Oh, well, now this is Bloomberg, and they don't do that.
Wait, is this an anonymous source?
It's definitely an anonymous source, and they make it a point to say that they have to keep this source anonymous because they're not supposed to talk about any of this stuff.
So,
which I find amusing. You know, earlier in the week, I saw this really cool thing with Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She's in the press room, you know, and this broad from, I think she was from NBC, tried to hem Sarah Sanders up by, there's a lot of classified information that has been leaking out of the White House. Is the White House comfortable with this? And Sarah Sanders said something to the effect of, I want you to look around this room. Everybody in this room, all of you, all of your peers have disseminated classified information that was leaked from the White House. So, yeah, the White House has a problem with it. But my question to you is, do you have a problem with it? I thought that was pretty cool. That was a smackdown.
Ooh-wee.
So we got another anonymous leaker from the Trump White House that is saying that Mueller has finally turned somebody, and they're going to drop the bomb on Donald Trump. They're going to sew up this collusion stuff with Donald Trump. They're going to show how the Russians and Donald Trump himself personally colluded to take over the American election. Nowhere in any of this, though, have they,
they've been saying that all along, though.
Here's what I find the funniest part, though. All right, so they got 13 guys that created a bunch of fake accounts on social media, right? And put up a bunch of stories, right?
Internet trolls.
Internet trolls. Now, somehow or another, that is how come Donald Trump became president. It was because of the things that weak-minded right-wingers like you and me saw on Facebook, where we seen those articles and went, oh, I didn't know that about Hillary. Actually, if I remember right, leading up to the election, we was like, how come ain't nobody talking about this? How come ain't nobody talking about this? We was talking about the uranium thing back when it happened and been trying to get people to talk about it leading up to the election. Still not a peep out of it. All them Russian bots that was influencing the election, not a peep.
I'm just so glad that with the full weight of the United States government behind him, Robert Mueller has, invested taxpayer money so wisely. Because, did you know that there was such a thing as Russian internet trolls?
That was news to me. I had to look up and see if I couldn't find a definition of what a troll is. I had never heard of such a thing.
I
thought trolling was something you did with your fish when you was fishing, man.
And who would have thought that Russians did it?
I didn't even know Russians fished.
But you know what? I bet those people that are in the White House right now, I bet they knew and they were colluding. I'm so glad that there's such standard bearers like CNN and MSNBC ready to get out there and honestly cover, the news of the day.
Dude, you should have heard them. Really, they were almost mad at the fact that there was no mention of the collusion. So they're still not buying it. And now that there's this Bloomberg article out with an anonymous source, CNN and MSNBC, all ABC, all of them. And to a network, every one of them they've openly stated that they're still not willing to let the collusion part of it go. That's hysterical to me.
Well,
because this shows a sign of mental illness.
Well, look, we already know they're mentally ill. In the past couple of weeks, the Washington Post has been, not the Post, the Free Beacon has been collecting little and making YouTube videos every time the mainstream media all pick up on one catchphrase.
Oh yeah,
and do it to death. This week's was the death of democracy. That we're watching democracy die right before our eyes because Trump is president now.
Well, there may be something to that, man, because ever since Trump has been president, the left has lost their flipping minds. So there may be something to that. Trump's presidency may have very well caused all of them people on the left to just snap.
Well, people are talking about Trump derangement syndrome. I have not looked up the stuff in the psychiatry textbooks, but I'm beginning to think we're going to find TDS, is going to be, like, for this generation, is going to be a major problem down the road. I mean,
I think we're not going to be able to call it like derangement. It's going to have to look. It'll have to be a transmental state. See,
transmental.
That's right. And the way that you were talking was very transmental phobic. I'm just saying.
Well,
that wasn't very sensitive of you.
I will write up a formal apology and apologize to all the transmentals.
Dude, you are not taking into account the struggle that the transmentals have had to go through.
The struggle is real. It is real.
It is real. Look, the poor transmentals, they don't get treated like everybody else.
Every day they wake up in a world where Trump is still president.
That's right. And they can't marry one another until Trump is gone.
Because they got to all get gay married.
Trans married. They got to get transmental married.
Well, okay, now we need to segue now that you just put that natural segue right in there.
Wasn't that good?
Because I got to tell, I'm sorry, y'all. Richard, I'm talking to you, man, and everybody else out there that's listening. You're going to have to date a tranny now.
I'm glad I'm married. Do I still have to date one even though I'm married?
No, but one of y'all has to change.
Change to what? Well, I got to get out of this shirt. You're right.
Otherwise, I mean, you're going to be like violating Title 9,
Title
37.
No,
I mean, you are going to be in.
But I don't want to violate Title 9 or be gay married. I'm not good. I'm not good at gay married.
Well,
let me tell you something.
Being married, I don't think it's going to get you off the hook. That's all I'm saying.
Let me break it down. A long time ago, as every healthy young man does,
let's don't talk about that on the radio.
I question my sexuality. There, it's out. It's out. Is everybody happy? I question my sexuality. And I was sitting there questioning it, going, what's my sexuality? And so I started thinking, well, how do I know that I'm not gay? I very well could be. I could be flaming and not know it. So I started thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm in locker rooms all the time. I started picturing the locker room, right? You ever been? You've been in some locker rooms.
They smell like dirty feet
and butt
and
from under.
Uh-huh.
So I started thinking about that aroma. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And then I started thinking about after having a rough day, right?
Uh-huh.
Wanting to spoon, cuddle up with somebody. And I started thinking about it being a man. Then I started thinking about it being a man,
smelling like dirty
me,
feet and butt.
Or a man like me with the same kind of body as I got, like all hairy and everything.
Didn't you want to rub your chest hair up into somebody else's
See that
hair?
right there? You see that right there? That moment where I pictured that, I sealed the deal with my sexuality right then and there. I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that I was completely 100% heterosexual. Because when I started thinking about that, and then thinking about that hairy fool rolling over and wanting to put his mouth all right, wait.
Okay.
All right.
It's just that the trans community is saying that if you're a heterosexual... Now listen, I mean, this is important.
I'm sorry. Okay. I got it's gone. All right. I'm a straight man.
Okay. Well, as a straight man.
Oh God, that was gross.
If some dude with 5 o'clock shadow, the black 5 o'clock shadow, and a blonde wig, and a cute little flowery mini dress, comes walking up to you and says, "Hi, big boy, date me." If you say no,
do we have
you're
to kiss?
Transphobic.
Do we got to kiss,
dude?
Because I can't kiss a dude.
You're transphobic. Don't you?
What are they going to call it
you
when
wanna-
when you do that? But if you put you're trying to
when you put your cheek up to his, and you feel that stubble on your cheek.
Okay. All right, I don't think I'm gonna make gay murder. I'm gonna have to be transphobic, man.
Well, you know, you're just transphobic.
How about if can you claim allergy? Because I'm allergic. I'm allergic to dating trans men, because every time I think about dating a trans man and having a trans man stick his tongue in my mouth. Okay. I ain't got much left here, man.
Okay, well, I think we could segue now that we've brought that into.
I'm all
daylight.
sweaty now, man.
Because
that was rough.
Well, speaking of the transphobia,
Yeah.
see, you know, it'll get you fired.
What? You mean I can get fired because I can't stand the thought of a man sticking his tongue in my...
You'll be fired for your transphobia, if that is, you're in the video game world.
Oh, phew.
Because the lead sound designer for the very popular survival video game called Subnautica, apparently,
Ooh,
I
that
haven't
sounds
even
sexy.
seen the comments, but they said the comments could be construed to be both racist and transphobic on Twitter.
No, not on Twitter.
On his personal Twitter account, not even on company time or anything. But he made a comment that some people could possibly construe to be transphobic, and the video game manufacturer fired him. So
what can we say anymore? I mean, where are we at? Where are we at on the language police? I mean, are we getting to a point now to where we just can't say anything? I mean, we're not allowed to have it like we were talking about that Jordan Peterson interview, right, with Kathy Newman, and he put it to her: you don't mind taking the risk of offending me. As a matter of fact, you're trying to offend me, and that's okay. But it's not okay for anyone else to. It's not okay for me to do it. It wasn't okay for that guy to say whatever he wanted to on his own Twitter or social media, whatever. He got fired for pissing off the trannies. So who exactly complained? And how many complaints did they get?
Well,
how many complaints does it take to get you fired?
Well, I tell you what, and I'm going to try and see if I can somehow provide a link to this.
I mean, the
tomorrow.
guys that you said he was the sound.
He designed the sound, all the sound effects for Subnautica.
So it ain't like he's like this big name out there with a whole lot of influence over people. This is a guy that appears in a credit when you beat the video game.
Yeah, now he's probably the best at his job.
I will give him that, but I'm just saying it ain't like he's
He designs sound effects for video games. This is what this man does, and he's lost that job.
Man, where do you go after you get fired from sound effects?
I hope another video game company will pick him up, because the guy's work is good. And,
probably be one of those Russian video game companies,
like Gaijin.
Yeah, well, I hear they don't like. I hear the Russians, they kind of phobic.
Well, that's why they're and they collude with people. Not only are they transphobic, but they're colluders too.
They're degens.
They're transphobic colluders.
Transphobic colluding degens.
That's right.
That's
from upcountry.
From upcountry up in Russia town. Man, them Russians are everywhere.
Hey man, you got to be a little cooler than that. It's our town.
Oh, my bad. I'm still. So let me get this straight. The new civil rights movement is now for trans people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's going to happen? Can I make a prediction here? An Honest Answer Radio prediction.
You make one and I'll make one.
Here's what I predict. This is my Nostradamus moment here, all right? I don't know how long it's going to take, so I'm going to shoot. I'm going to be generous here, all right? And give it another 20 years, all right? 2 decades from now, the left is going to have this country so splintered up that we're not even going to be able to call ourselves the United anything. But the beauty of it is, eventually they will become so splintered that they will begin to eat themselves.
And
eventually, in 30 years from now, they will have eaten themselves out of existence, because everyone by that time, in another 30 years, maybe everybody can look back on all of this PC culture and realize what a complete fallacy it is, and say, like we do with Nazism, we will say to feminism and PC culture, never again.
I've got a prediction.
Go for it.
Within 6 months, Harvey Weinstein will rehabilitate his career.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
You know how?
How? Oh, he's going to get married to a tranny.
Exactly. Now,
oh, that's got to come true, because I seen it too.
Either that, or he's going to come out as a tranny and marry another tranny, so that he's got the double whammy.
Well, now wait.
And he's got victimhood on top of it.
But what kind of tranny?
Does it matter?
Well, now wait, it does matter. It does matter, because look, is he going to come out as a tranny, but a tranny that was a woman and now is a man?
Even better than that, he's going to come out as a transsexual black woman.
Ooh, I thought you were going to say otherkin.
Who's transitioning into white man.
Ooh. Oh, no, that's racist. He couldn't do that. You can only transition from white to black. You can't transition from black to white. That's racist.
When you throw the trans into that...
Nope, it don't work that way.
Yeah, it cancels it out.
No, it does not. It does not.
In the hierarchy of victimhood...
No, it does not. Look, we're going to have to call Tommy Sotomayor and get him to set this straight, because I'm telling you, it don't. If a black person goes and tries to be a trans white person, they call that something else, man. And I ain't going to say it on this show on there. You ain't going to get me to say it. But
well, he could really step up his game by claiming that he was trying to transition from a black woman to a black man, and something went wrong. And that's why he was so messed up about grabbing people's behinds and
the only thing that's
all that kind of stuff.
The only thing right now I think that could save Harvey Weinstein's career would be if somehow he got and I mean Quentin Tarantino style jail raped, and somehow somebody got it on film. That would be the only way he can save his career, would be so that those feminists could see him getting done what they say he did to, a bunch of actresses, except for the actresses, they did it on,
for money
and felt bad about it later. But, that's the only thing that's going to save him. But now, seeing as how he's Hollywood, and he lives out there in California, how would we know that it was genuine? You know what I mean? Like, how would I know somebody was having to take it? Because I'm just saying.
Well, I kind of I understand.
I heard this week that Richard Pryor had an affair with it's a dude.
Another dude?
It was another dude. And Richard Pryor's daughter is all mad about it, that it's out there. And she's saying, that wasn't my daddy. My daddy didn't never do that. And then but there's a lot of people that's going, oh yeah, well, everybody knew that. Rich was, I can't remember who it was though, but it was somebody big. Marlon Brando.
Now,
I am not kidding. Look, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Well, I'm going to do it right here live. I'm going to pull a CNN and do a fact check live right here. Right here. Hang on here. Richard Pryor affair. Oh, wait. No, I ain't going to do that. Richard Pryor, Marlon. Oh, look at that. Wow, I didn't even have to finish typing. Oh, my goodness. Richard Pryor and Marlon Brando rumor rekindles bitter feud over Richard Pryor's estate. Number 2 under People magazine. Did Richard Pryor and Marlon Brando have sex? Look here, I can't. And Richard Pryor and Marlon Brando are lovers. Pryor's widow confirms. I can't live with that.
You got to stop reading up on this kind of stuff, man. Because
you said for us to be looking into pop culture. Richard Pryor is pop culture.
But see, now in my head, I've got this image of Marlon Brando leaning.
It was fat Marlon Brando too,
leaning back in his chair, going, "Richard, I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse."
You can't have Richard Pryor.
Don't you want to take your shirt off?
You know who told it? Oh, God. Do you know who told that?
Who told that?
Quincy Jones.
Quincy. Now, look, man.
Quincy Jones.
Now, look.
He done started dishing on all the dope he did with Ray Charles. Now he's turning his sights on Richard Pryor. Quincy, you need to make an album or something. Get you some attention on yourself some other way. This is not the way, man.
Yeah, we don't want to know, man. I don't want to know about Richard Pryor running his fingers through Marlon Brando's chest hair.
Does this make us homophobics?
I
mean, is it homophobics if you?
I don't know. Are you scared?
No, see, I'm not afraid of. I mean,
see, that's another
all right,
thing.
Wait, I am. I'm afraid to picture it. Does that count?
But that, no.
Because it invokes a physical reaction. It not one of hatred or anger, more one of nausea and vomiting.
I think that's just a medical condition.
When did we have to accept all this? What happened? Where were we? Where was everybody else? Where were y'all when all of this started happening, where we just have to just accept things? For centuries, for millennia, that kind of thing, the trans stuff, the transsexuals, trans testicles, whatever they are, that right there was a mental disorder. It's still in the psychiatric handbook as being a disorder. When did that become something that we just have to go, okay, well, you know what? We found out that it really wasn't a disorder, that it's actually quite normal. No, it's never been normal. We never had little kids wanting to have sex change operations.
Well, at like 4 years old,
or
eight,
at like
8 years
or
old.
8, 11. Either way, prepubescent kids
wanting to take hormones.
And
their parents going, okay.
People, celebrities are now having gender-neutral children. Look, I'm sorry, people. You can't have a gender-neutral baby. I mean, unless, and I hate to pull this word out. I know it's not, a popular word. Unless you have a hermaphrodite, you do not have a gender-neutral child. Your child either has a gym dog or a trap. One of the two. That's the only two choices.
Gym dog or trap.
Exactly.
And when did it become accepted that we have to accept? When did that how did that get started?
Yeah, when? Where was I asleep? Have I been asleep a really long time?
Don't you remember we had that back several years ago? We played that sound clip of Seth. What's his name?
MacFarlane?
Seth MacFarlane, yes. Talking about, us people out here in flyover country have to be coerced into acceptance.
But there is no way they're going to ever be, there is no re-education camp, man, to get the physical reaction that I have when I think about that and putting myself in their shoes.
You're just going to have to cuddle with the
Nope.
Just gonna have to.
Look, I can see you're kind of happy about it. I can see you over there right now. I think you got a tranny in mind.
Well, I do. Her name was Big Melissa from Memphis.
And Big Melissa was also a midget. Let's not forget. Dang, I can't even say midget no more. What is there? Can we have a book of all the stuff that we can't say? I mean, we got a dictionary, right? This got all the words in the English language, right? Mm-hmm. The Oxford Dictionary, right?
We got
Webster's,
Merriam-Webster's.
Yeah, we got all of that. There's all these words that, the kids will tell you real quick, we don't say that anymore. Well, crap. What do we say? I mean, you cannot. They've taken away all our adjectives, man.
I can see right now, I'm going to have to get with Tina what we're going to do. Next time I go to the grocery store, I'm going to pick up a bunch of soy milk.
Bless you, Tina.
You're going to have to start drinking soy milk and dating trannies.
Look, I'm going to make a horrible soy boy, okay, because I hardly ever shave. And I'm not doing the full body shave. I'm just going, I look like Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. And I'll just have to live with that. I'm not gonna. I won't be. I'm not gonna make a good trans person at all.
I made this stencil, so that Tina could shave "I love trannies" into your back hair.
Well, won't nobody see it in my back hair because I don't take my shirts off. I'm just saying. Just saying.
All I'm saying is,
look, they're even ruining this. We've got to have this culture revolution. We got to have it soon. They're getting into everything that I like. You can't even watch a superhero movie anymore. No more comic book movies.
I know it's all got to be political.
All of it got to be political or racial or something like that. Like this Black Panther thing. Now look, I bet it's a good movie. I bet it really, and I also know that a lot of the actors on the set there, a lot of them are like, devout Christians. As a matter of fact, there's been some anecdotes coming from that set where all the Christians getting together and just sharing testimonies with each other right there on the set.
Mm-hmm.
However, there is so much politics behind the movie that it makes me not even want to watch it, even though that my brothers and sisters in Christ are responsible for it,
Well, you know what? I've decided that I think I'm going to watch the movie. Because if it's a good movie, then I'm going to say, hey, I just watched a good movie. I don't watch my superhero movies to get all political.
Right.
I want to see them like busting people's heads up. And,
well, see, it's going to get to where we can't even see that.
Doing superhero stuff, like jumping off of buildings and not getting hurt and stuff like that. And that's what I want to see in a superhero movie. I really don't care about their politics. And I have read from some conservatives who went to see the movie who are looking at everybody else who's talking about all the politics and like, look, just enjoy the movie.
Right. Just
go watch the movie, enjoy it. Forget about whether you want to stand up and cheer when they mention inequality or something.
Somehow or another, things have just got all kind of messed up. I mean, like, really. Because for years and years and years, it has been like Republicans or conservatives or whatever you want to call it, that were the sticks in the mud. They were the ones that didn't have a sense of humor about anything. If you look at all the movies from the 60s and 70s and 80s, all of the comedy movies, the villain or the heel of the movie has always been a conservative kind of guy, a banker, a lawyer, you know what I mean? Or a politician that was ultra conservative, ultra Christian, that just didn't have a sense of humor about anything. That's been how we have been portrayed all along. However, it's not the conservatives who is taking away humor from everything.
Here's the thing. All right, we know some people who live right around here in our neighborhood that are conservative.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some of them don't even own a suit.
Mm-hmm.
God bless them for that, because I don't either. Okay.
Right.
We don't own suits.
No.
Some of them ain't tucked their shirt in their breeches since they last attended, like,
Well, ain't no need unless you go in the court of church.
Exactly. I mean, and even at church these days, you don't have to,
That's right.
We know people who ain't tucked their shirt in their breeches since they was 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? They're conservative. You want to talk about some of these people that we're talking about knowing how to have fun, knowing how to have a good time?
Go on now.
Okay? They know how to have a good time. You get in your truck, you take it out into the mud, and you drive your truck out in the mud real fast and drift in the mud with your truck, and they have a good time. And they want to watch TV shows where people have a good time and don't get all mad about politics and feminism and stuff like that. And now we're having to look at these kids wearing suits with their ties pulled all the way up to their neck now.
Look, man, I saw this video.
Telling us you can't do that.
I saw this video like they had a bunch of millennials watching TV shows from the 70s and 80s, right? And the kids that we're talking about here, they all had, like you were just saying, everything was all neat, except for their hair, of course. It was like multicolored. But, they had their skinny jeans on and their sweaters and shirts that were, man, skinny cut shirts and sweaters. I mean, that's really a thing now, okay?
But to rebel in this culture, this current youthful culture right now, means to start listening to contemporary Christian music.
That would be that's right. You're right.
But these kids who are rebelling today sit around and talk about how crappy Keynesian economics are.
Well, look, dude, when these kids are watching these TV shows, these sitcoms, these are sitcoms, man. I'm talking Jeffersons, All in the Family, One Day at a Time.
Good Times.
Good Times, yep. Man, these kids are like, oh, my God, that's so racist. Oh, my God. How homophobic. I mean, these kids are getting angry at sitcoms.
Yeah, they have no sense of humor anymore, man.
They don't. Somehow, that's what I'm trying to get at. Somewhere, at some point along the way.
Mamas and daddies, what have you done to your children?
This is our generation's fault.
I know.
These are our kids.
They ain't mine.
And our generation. Our kids are the millennials. And our generation is responsible for them. It was our generation that said, and I know this because you can look at my social media friends list and pick out any 10 broads on there that's got kids, and a whole bunch of them will be like, "Oh, I don't believe in spanking my kids. That's abuse. You should never, ever hit a kid." Look, I'm ready to bring back kid hitting in light of what happened this week. Everybody's talking about, what are we going to do? What can we do? We can start beating the hell out of our kids. That's like the first place to start. Casey, when we were kids, right? Me and you, we growing up, right? We had friends that had trucks, pickup trucks, come to school, had guns in the back all the time. We routinely kept guns in our car, right?
Yeah, used to have them in the trunk of the car all the time, yeah.
We had guns in the house, right? Yeah. Right up above where we slept, there was a big gun rack, right?
Right.
Now, if we had went and messed with them guns.
At school.
I'm not even going there. I'm saying, when we were in school, if we had a mess with them guns without mama or daddy knowing about it, you know what I mean? Like if we'd have just took one, right?
It's hard for me to imagine that because the beating that would have resulted from that.
Exactly. Now, we carried knives on our belts, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, what if we had gotten a fight, because we did do that a lot, but what if we had gotten a fight and used that knife on somebody? What would have happened to us when we got out of jail finally?
I don't really know. I don't know anybody that ever did it.
Right.
Because it was kind of understood. You do that, and if the cops don't get you first, then all the dude's friends that you cut is going to beat you senseless. But ain't nobody going to cut you.
I'm just saying, if it takes a little bit of abuse to get us out of this politically correct culture that we've got right now.
Bring on the abuse.
Parents, I want to hear belts coming out of loops all over the country. We should have a 1,000,000 belt march. And just march our kids down the streets of Washington and beat the hell out of them every step.
Because you know they done something to bring it on.
Of course they did. Look around. Have you not seen Berkeley? Have you not seen the entire state of Minnesota? Have you not looked at Washington, Seattle, Portland, Oregon, Atlanta, Georgia? Parents all over the country, hear my voice if you can hear me. Beat your children. Beat them now. Stop what you're doing. Stop listening to me right now. Take your belts off. Go in their rooms. Kick the door in and just start swinging. It's the only way we're going to ever end this. People are asking, what can we do?
Beat your kids.
How can we stop this from happening?
Beat your kids.
Beat your kids. By all means. Look, you ain't got a belt on, that's fine. Look out your window. See them things growing on trees? They ain't called limbs. They're called switches. You take that, you strip the leaves off, and you wear their little legs out with it. You ain't got no trees, live in the city? Fine. Go down the hall, look in your drawers, and you might find a wooden spoon. Get to wagging. I don't care what you got to do, people. Just beat your children. It's the only way we're going to get this country back. It's the only way that comedy's ever going to come back. Things were, remember on Good Times? Back on Good Times when JJ had lied and Mr. Evans found out that JJ had lied. What did he do?
He whooped him.
He took off his belt and took him in the back room and beat the mess out of him. Remember when Michael got caught skipping school?
Uh-huh.
What happened to Michael?
Michael got his butt tore
Got
up.
his butt whooped. I got another one. You remember, let's go back further than that. You remember when little Opie Cunningham, or little Opie Taylor, I mean, when he had a slingshot and he shot that bird with a slingshot after Andy told him, don't shoot no animals with that, remember?
Uh-huh.
And he killed that mama bird. What happened to Opie?
He got his butt tore up.
Opie got his butt tore up. And this other little boy had his bicycle running all over the sidewalks, and his daddy was a rich man and bought him an expensive bicycle, and they said, you can't do that, and he got caught doing it, and Andy took the bicycle away from him, and his daddy came and said, you can't do that to my baby because he's my baby, and the little boy cried, and it made the daddy look stupid, and then the Andy said, I got a woodshed out back. What you think happened to that little boy?
He got his butt tore up.
You know what? We didn't have none of this mess. Feminists, listen to me. We didn't have none of these problems when y'all stayed home.
And when you used your shoes to beat your kids with.
Look, when women was perfectly content to have a man bring home his entire paycheck and hand it to her, we didn't have no bad credit. When a woman was in the house watching over the children, knowing where they was at all times, beating the hell out of them when they had to.
How about...
we didn't have no school shooting.
How about this? How about the woman staying home with the kids and she's staying with the same man that fathered the children and marries him?
Well, you know what? Back in the day when like they had them evil back alley abortion clinics because getting an abortion was illegal, you know what we didn't have? We didn't have a whole bunch of fatherless homes. There was a few, but they wasn't many because, and remember back in the day when I tell my kids about this all the time. Y'all just be giving it away now. having all these texting things going on where we having a sex party and I'm wearing all these bracelets that mean you'll do this and you'll do that. We didn't have all of that. You know why? Because back then there was consequences if a girl got pregnant. It wasn't just, you know, I get child support from the baby daddy. It ain't no big deal. I get that, you know, they just WIC.
I'll just go to Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, I just go to Planned Parenthood. You know, they help me out. They hook me up with all these government programs, you know. We didn't have that problem back then. And, you know what, fellas, you know how come the women was able to stay home? They was able to stay home because the men got out and worked. Because the fellas married them. And they got out and worked. The men actually left the home every day at the same time, and they went out and they worked. They made a living for the family. Now, that's not saying that women didn't have jobs back in the day. Of course they did. Of course they did. Women worked all over the place. But the vast majority of the women in this country did not view being a housewife as a negative. There was a time in this country when the women didn't look at motherhood as something holding them back from anything. They looked at it, believe it or not, as one of the most important things that they could do for their country was to be producing good children. You know how we won World War II, Case?
We had good children.
We had good kids, man. Them was kids that went out and fought them battles for us, man. They was good, healthy, clean, respectful American children.
And they could shoot.
Yes, they could. They had been raised with guns, most of them. They knew what was going on. Look, y'all, our culture problem that we waging war with, a lot of that can be solved right in your own house. You ain't even got to, you know, you might work up a little sweat beating the hell out of Junior, but hey, that's just good exercise.
And if you ain't got a belt, just call me. I'll get you one.
And look, if you want to be a wuss about it, I don't care. I don't care. You know, there are ways to discipline your children where you ain't got to hit them. That's true. But they're not nearly as much fun. That's all I'm going to say about that. Before we get out of here tonight, last week we skipped over something pretty important.
Yeah, we skipped over the spiritual component of our show.
We did.
Which we have no intention of doing tonight.
No. I've actually, we're going Old Testament tonight, man.
All right.
We're going to end tonight with just a little bit of scripture. And this is from Psalm 100, one of my favorites. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord, he is God. It is he that has made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people, and the sheep of his pasture. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving, and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him, and bless his name. For the Lord is good, his mercy is everlasting, and his truth endureth to all generations.
Well, you know what, man? That last little bit right there says it all about truth.
Yep.
Because what are we missing so much when we talking about all this trans stuff and multiple genders and all that? What are we missing?
Jesus.
And a big dose of truth, because he is truth.
Well,
he is the truth.
He's the way, the truth, and the light. Exactly.
You know, we've been mad for more than 8 years. More than 8 years.
Yeah.
We've been mad.
Yep.
Okay. We ain't going to be mad no more.
Angry.
It's time for us to look around at what we've got and be glad we've got it, be thankful for it, praise God for it, and get on with the business of having that more abundant life that Christ came down here to give to us.
And if we can't beat them, we'll just make fun of them.
That's right.
Right?
And we're going to have fun. We're going to laugh. The left, well, they can go cry in their soy milk.
Right. And it tastes bad, too.
It does.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all again next week. Y'all be good. Please be good to each other.
Good night, y'all.
And you still can hear me singing to people who don't listen to the things that I am saying, praying someone's gonna hear. And I guess I'll die explaining how the things that they complain about are things they could change, hoping someone's gonna care. I was born a lonely singer, and